Hello. How's everyone doing? Uh, how are you all today? Hello. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Hi. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Um, Super excited to be here. We'll be starting in few minutes, say 2 or 3 minutes. Expecting few more learners to join in. Till then, would love to know where you're all joining in from. I'm joining in from Bangalore in India. Um, From which part of the world are you taking up this session today? Dubai, super, very good, interesting. How about others? Cape Town, wow. Nairobi, wow, superb. You can send a message to everyone. Some of you are sending it to host and panelist. To Kenya, interesting. Angola, interesting. Wow, looks like we have everyone from different parts of the world. Great. Awesome. So I think we can start. Was expecting few more learners to join in. Till they join in, I'll start off with some expectation of the sessions, and of course also looking forward to the same, Sanathan. So some ground rules of the session today, like it's a listen only mode session, so unfortunately you can't unmute and ask anything. So it will be a listen only mode session. In order to make our session more interactive, please post in your questions, please put in your thoughts, please put in your observations, any examples that you want to share regarding the topic that we cover. Would love to hear it from you as well. So please use the chat box very much. Make it very lively today. Let's hope so. Be responsive in the session so that I can get to know that you are able to hear me, you are able to understand me, you are able to understand the topic. So would really encourage all of you to be very active in the chat today. I'm pretty sure because you're joining in remote, there could be a possibility where you get drop off and you want to listen to the entire session. So we'll be sending over the recording and the content. So this PPT and the recording will be shared to you on your email address, which you used to register for this particular webinar. So whatever email address you have used to register for this webinar, we'll be sending out the recording of this session. At the end of the session, there will be a small feedback form that will be shared with all of you. We would request that please fill it up because it helps us in improving our offerings in this particular webinars. Okay, so just to repeat, listen only mode. Let's make it super interactive by putting in a lot of our thoughts, questions, anything that goes in our mind in the chat box. The session recording and the content will be shared to you on the registered email, and please fill the feedback form. Okay, so this is the main guidelines that we'll follow throughout the session. Coming to my introduction, hi everyone, I'm Saurabh. I'm joining in from Bangalore in India. Right now, I'm working as a data science senior manager at this company called as Meesho. So Meesho is a startup, is a grown startup here in India in e-commerce business, which caters mostly to the tier 2 and tier 3 towns in here. Overall, I have about 9 years of experience in the domain of data science and analytics. Before Tumisho, I was working with LinkedIn. I'm sure everyone is actively using LinkedIn for your job search. So I was working at LinkedIn for about 3.5 years, wherein I was helping the sales team make better sales calls with the help of the data that we would provide. Before to LinkedIn, I was working with Airbnb for about 2 years. One of the coolest companies to work for in terms of one, they offer remote work, and second, they offer, their data is really, really amazing. It's one of the best data sets that I've ever come is from Airbnb. And before to Airbnb and LinkedIn, I was working with Walmart for about 4 years. And therein, my main work was to help Walmart make decisions in their sourcing, procurement, supply chain, and customer analytics. With great learning, I've been mentoring since last 3+ years. Have delivered more than 400 hours of sessions. It keeps on growing. So very super excited to be here. Very nice to meet all of you. I'm sure you're all looking forward to know a little bit about how data analytics, data science is shaping the future. What should you be doing to learn it? What are companies doing it? How are they applying? So we'll go over all of that discussion in the next 45 minutes. Okay, so that's all about me. Super, super excited to be here. In terms of agenda, we'll first try to understand what is data science, right? I'll give you a very brief overview about how data science domain works. We'll be looking into how companies are using data to leverage for the strategic business growth, right? How are the new business models coming up? How are the new information helping companies grow? We'll be looking into that. If you have any question answers, if you have any questions to ask around the domain, I'll be more than happy to answer. And then, of course, we'll be looking into this beautiful program called as postgraduate program in data science and business analytics from Great Learning. We will get to know more about the program as well. Okay, so this is the main agenda for today. Let's get started, right? Okay. So if you look at this particular slide, this is one of the most important slides that you need to understand what's going on. Now, in the world of digital era, can I consider that every second, lot of information is getting generated? For example, can I say that maybe in 1 hour, Zoom hosts around 856 minutes of webinars? If you look at this, can I consider that on Google conducts around 5.7 million searches in 1 minute? If you look at Instagram, can I say a lot of photos get posted in 1 minute? I think it is around 65,000 photos getting posted. If you look at Twitter, can I say in 1 minute around 575,000 tweets gets posted by different users? So can I consider that huge amount of explosion of data is getting generated, created, consumed around us? I'm sure, right? Do you agree with this? In 1 minute of internet exploration, can I say as a user, we end up generating a lot of data, lot of information, correct? So for example, let's say you go to Instagram and you open your Instagram. In 1 minute of your Instagram journey, does Instagram capture where you from? Does Instagram capture when did you log in? Does Instagram see which post you saw? Does Instagram knows which post did you like? Does Instagram knows which post did you share? Which post, which advertisement you saw, which advertisement you saw and clicked? Can I say all this information gets captured in your 1 minute of your journey on Instagram? And can I consider this as a data that can be used for some purposes? What do you think? Do you agree with the lines that I'm saying here? Every time a human is interacting with the app, machine, mobile, computer, smartphone, smart devices, television, can I consider that huge amount of data is getting generated? Yes. Please be active in the chat, otherwise I would not know whether you're following along or not. So what do you think? Does it happen? Every minute, every second, whenever a human interacts with internet, it interacts with a connected device. Can I say large amount of data is getting generated? Imagine 5 billion people are there on the internet. In total, there are 8 billion people on the planet. If you exclude the children and the old age people, there are around 5 billion people on internet. Could you imagine the scale at which the data is getting generated around us? Right? If you look at this particular graph on the right hand side, it is saying that it's increasing exponentially. If you look at the next slide, this is something which is very important. Large amount of data is getting generated. Huge amount of data is getting generated, stored. And why is it happening? Why is the companies able to store large amount of data? Can I consider that the cost of storage has reduced drastically? Right? Of course, the companies wants to capture the data, but to capture the data, they need a space. So can I say nowadays it is very, very cost effective to store large amount of data at a lower cost? Do you agree with this? For example, does it cost you a lot if you were to store 1 GB of data on, say, Google Drive? Probably a cent, probably a dollar, probably a $2, not more than that. So over the period of time, which used to take us, for example, if you look at the chart on the right-hand side, it used to cost us $1 million to store 1 GB of data. Nowadays, it costs around a cent to store 1 GB of data. And because the cost of storage have reduced drastically, can I say that companies are capturing every information about the customer? Even the online ones and even the offline ones. So for example, if you go to a retail store, does the retail store also capture a lot of your information, like which products you're looking into, which products you're buying, which products you tried, which products you did not look into, which aisle you went? Can I say even the offline stores are capturing a lot of your information? And it is safe to store in cloud. I absolutely agree because of the cloud investment. Um, with the cloud inventions, of course, it has become a very, very smooth way to store it. Yeah. So look at this, what is happening around us. Large amount of data is getting generated, lot of storage space is getting created, and that's why companies are storing huge amount of data in their systems. Now, if the company is capturing the information, the company is storing that information, and if they don't use it, is it of any use? You collected all the data, you collected all the information about the user, and it's lying in your database, and you're not doing anything about it. Is it of any use to the person? Yeah. What do you think? The company's invested everything to store the data and they're not utilizing it. Will that help company make any benefit from that whole process? Lot of lost opportunities? Yes, definitely not at all, right? And that is where, can I say, we need professionals who can work on this large amount of data that is getting stored and created. So if you look at this chart, which is on the left-hand side, the one in orange and pink, that is what it is saying, that over the years, the amount of storage of data has increased, but the companies are not able to keep up the speed to use it. They're capturing, but they're not able to utilize it. And that's because of the shortage of the talent. That's because of, not skilled enough talent is available very easily. And that is the reason why there's a gap. If 100 GB of data is getting stored, only 20 GB of data is what the companies are able to use, process, and make decisions based on that. Otherwise, there is a lot of data which is lying there. And because of the lack of resources, because of the lack of people, because of the lack of good talent available in the market, this data hasn't been utilized. But there is a huge opportunity that lies, before us, given the advancements in the tools and technologies to retrieve the data, get the data, explore the data, analyze the data. It will become even faster. This acceleration will happen even faster. And whatever data that the companies are able to create and store can be utilized for their decision making. Okay, so this is the background about what's happening around us. Every time a human interacts with a machine, any machine, it could be a computer, it could be a mobile phone, it could be a smart TV, it could be your watch, it could be a car. Can I consider nowadays car as something like they are emitting more data than probably pollution, given the electric cars and everything that you see around you? Cars have become like a good source of data. A lot of data is getting generated whenever you drive a car. Previously, it used to only run on the oil and the emissions. Nowadays, it runs on data because it knows exactly when you use the car, how much you use the car, when do you accelerate, when do you stop. Can I say they capture all of this information these days? Right? It's like a software on the wheels. That's what we call it nowadays because it is capturing all the information about how you're driving that particular car. So because of that, a lot of data is getting generated. Huge amount of data is getting generated. The cost is continuing to reduce. Pretty sure even in future it will happen. And because of that, the companies will have a large amount of data. And if they have a large amount of data, they need talent who can help them process that particular data. Okay. Now, how and why data is used, right? Of course, data is getting created. The companies are storing it. The companies want to utilize it. But why they want to utilize it? Let's try to understand that. Any questions so far? Any thoughts? Anyone? All good? Okay. Let's try to understand the process in detail. What's data? Data could be anything. Anytime you interact with the machine, the data is getting generated. For example, when you buy a phone, you are analyzing all the information about the price, the location, the feature. That is the data. Whenever you're going on to Instagram, you're uploading photos. That's the data. In Instagram, they are capturing all your steps, whatever you're doing. That's the data. When you're driving a car, all the information about your drive of the car that is getting generated is the data. So anytime a human interacts with a machine, this interaction leads to information, and that information is nothing but your raw data. Okay, great. Let's look at the next one. So now what happens is you have the companies, any company that you work for will have a business problem. Okay. And in order to solve this particular business problem, can I say they need to make decisions? Right? Any role that you think about in any organization, in any for-profit organization, can I say the point A is a business problem and point B is a decision? That's what companies hire people for, to solve a problem and make decisions on that problem. Now, to travel from point A, which is the business problem, to point B, can we utilize data as a mean to reach there? In order to make decisions, can we rely on data for making that particular decisions? What do you think? Should the companies rely on data? So there are two options. They rely on data and make the decision, or they rely on the gut feeling. I feel like this should happen and I'll make a decision. Can I say data will have advantages? Can I say you will be able to make much more accurate decisions compared to if you're not relying on data? Can I say the probability of the success of the decision going right is more higher than say doing gut-based decision making or deciding without any information? Yeah, they should rely on data to make decisions. Absolutely correct. Right? So if they were to rely on data for making decisions, can I say the first thing that we need to learn or the first thing that we need to understand is the business problem? We need to be very, very sure about what is the business problem. We should understand the business problem. Unless and until you understand the business problem, will data be of any help to you? No. So the point one, the step one here that we all need to focus on is to understand this business problem, right? Unless and until we don't understand the business problem, even if we have the best data available out there, we cannot do anything about it. Okay, so for example, let's say you are not feeling well and you go to the doctor. Does the doctor directly give you the medicines? Or what does he do first? Say you're unwell and you're going to a doctor. What does the doctor do first? Does he give you the medicines directly? Does he check a prescription? He diagnoses the problem first, very important. And how does he diagnoses the problem first? Can I say he does that by asking questions? Does he ask you a lot of questions? What did you eat? Did you sleep well? Did you do this? Did you do X, Y, Z? Correct? So can I say if you ask the right questions, will it help you understand the business problem better? Just like the doctor understands your problem by asking you the questions and the symptoms, can I say if you ask the right questions, will you be able to understand the business problem better? Absolutely, yes. In order to ask the right questions, in order to be there in a position where you are asking the right relevant question, can I say knowing the domain is absolutely very important? The domain understanding is absolutely critical. Unless and until you understand the domain, if you have no knowledge about the domain, let's say you are a doctor for heart and you don't know anything about the heart, will you be able to ask the right questions? No. Similarly, if you're solving a problem for marketing company and you don't know anything about how consumer behavior works, will you be able to ask right questions? If you're trying to solve a problem for supply chain and you don't know how supply chain works, will you be able to ask the right questions? No. So can I say business domain understanding, the industry understanding, the business understanding plays a very, very critical role in order to help you understand the business problem? Because once you know about the domain, once you understand the domain, you are able to ask the right question. And if you are able to ask the right question, you will be able to understand the problem well. right? So can I say, even before we go to the data, knowing the domain in which we are working, say it's in healthcare, I should know everything about healthcare. If I'm in banking, I should know everything about banking. If I'm in retail, I should know everything about the retail. In retail, if I'm in marketing, I should know everything about marketing. Isn't that critical for solving a problem? Can I consider this as one of the most important skill set that we need to have? The domain understanding, ability to ask the right questions, ability to understand the business problems. Agree? What do you think? Yeah, even before we go to the data, do you think this are really important? Yeah, these are really, really important steps. Okay, so once you have understood the problem, once once you have understood the problem, can I say that the next step is to convert the business problem into the data problem? Meaning, let's take an example. Let's say the sales in Walmart store number 1022 is going down. Okay, this is a problem statement that you're working on. The sales, we need to know why this is happening, why the sales in a store number, only one store, is going down. Now, in order to solve this particular problem, can I say you will try to find out the data that can help you solve the problem? For example, can I say you will look into the sales data? Can I say you will look into the basket data of the customer? What are they buying? Can I say you will look into the customer information, right? What are the demographics, age, income, gender, etc.? Can I say we'll look into the store data? What are the offers? What are the places? Which products do we sell? What is the in stock? What is out of stock? Right? You will try to find out everything about the store. You look into the inventory data. And most importantly, because it's going only down in one store, can I say you will also look into competition? Now, in this step, what are you doing? Can I say that you are converting the business problem that you have understood into the data problem that can help you solve that problem? Are you getting it? Like, first step, get the full understanding of the business problem. Once you get the full understanding of the business problem, can I say then you map it to the data? Which data can help you solve that particular problem? Correct? Step one, understand the business problem. Step two, for that business problem, find out the data that can help us solve that particular problem. Is everyone following till here? Like, what's the step two in the whole process? Understand the problem, understand the data that can help you solve that particular problem. Okay, now how does the data solve problems, right? How is data, like I said, if I were to travel from business problem to decision, I'm using data. Let's see how data helps us make better decisions. Imagine that you're running a small ice cream store and you have the data about the temperature and you have the data about the sales in unit. Okay, so the temperature is 10, the sales is 100, the temperature is 20, the sales is 200, the temperature is 30, the sales is 300, temperature is 40, the sales is 400. If this pattern holds true, if this information holds true, can you guess what will be the value at 45 degrees Celsius? You're running an ice cream store and this is the pattern of the data that you observed. Now at 45, what do you think would be the um, what would be the sales? Any guesses? 450. Very good. 450. Absolutely correct. If this pattern holds true, whatever pattern that we observed here, if this pattern holds true, the answer should be 450. Now, if you know that in 5 days of time, in 5 days of time, the temperature will be 450, the temperature will be 45, and you know that the sales in units could be around 450, will it help you plan your inventory better? Beforehand, 5 days in advance, if you know that you need 450 units of ice cream, will it help you plan your inventory better? Correct? Will you be able to make better decisions on inventory? Yes. Will it help you plan your cash flows better? Stock turnover, absolutely correct. Because I would need to buy 450 units of ice cream from the store, from different store, I need money. So will it help me plan my cash flows better? Yes. If I know for every 200 units of ice cream, I need one person to handle the store, will it help you plan your human resource better? Correct. You are able to plan your inventory, cash flows, human resource, store management, everything better. Now, this is what I was saying. If you rely on data to solve a problem, will you be able to make much better decision? Is data playing a very critical role in any organization, any role, any form, to play a very important role in making correct decisions. And the companies who succeed has to make correct decisions. So they need to rely on data. So can I say that every company in the world who have to make good decisions, who have to make impactful decisions, can I say they are relying on data for making those decisions these days? Any company, it could be from travel, it could be from healthcare, it could be from banking, it could be from finance, it could be from retail. Any company in the world, if they were to make decisions, can I consider the data is playing a central role nowadays? And it doesn't matter which segment we are talking about. It doesn't matter if it is marketing, it is human resource, it is your supply chain, is it your operation, is it your customer support, is it your customer analytics? Everywhere, every single place where the companies needs to make decision, data is playing a most critical role in the whole process. Okay, now what did you do here? You understood the business problem, you converted into the data problem. Now, once you get the data, can I say you are applying statistics on top of it? If you observe very carefully, the reason why you were able to give me the answer as 450, because did you convert this data from this particular data to an equation called as y is equal to 10x? I'll come to that, okay, Sanandan, about the tools. Give me some time about the tools. First, knowing the background is important, then I'll tell you how the tools are helping. Okay, I have that question in mind. I'll for sure take it up. Okay, now can I say for this particular data, did you all use this equation? And that's why you were able to come up with the answer of 450? Yes, no? What do you think? In the back of your mind, maybe you didn't know that that is the equation, but is this the equation that satisfied this particular data set? Yeah, absolutely yes. It is increasing by 10x. The sales, with every increase in temperature, it is increasing by 10x, right? So what did you do? Did you convert in the step 3? The step 3 here is step 1, business problem. Step 2, data problem. Step 3 is my data to equation, right? The step 3 here is to convert the data into an equation. And step 4 is, of course, based on the output of this equation, you are making a decision. Now, in order to do all of this, right, in order to process the data, in order to analyze the data, in order to apply statistical equation on the data, can you do it on a pen and a paper? Is it possible to do it manually, or do you think we need to take the help of the technology here? In order to execute this entire thing where you take the data, you analyze the data, you put some equations on that particular data, can it be done without the help of any tech? Do you think you need tech? Can we do it manually on a sheet of a pen and a paper? This whole thing, when you're dealing with large amount of data, you're dealing with millions of columns. When we are dealing with zillions of data set, is it possible to do it manually? No, right? Small data, yes, but large data, no. Yeah, manually only if the data is very small. But will the data be very small? No, the data will be extremely large. So in order to execute all of this, can I say we need to know the tech? We need to learn the tech. We need to learn the programming languages. We need to learn the languages that we can help from the machine. Yeah, so definitely we need the tech, right? We definitely need to have a tech in the process. This whole process, right? Whatever I just explained, understanding the business problem, converting that business problem into data problem, applying a statistical equation on top of it with the help of the technology to make the decision is your data science. This whole domain is your data science domain. Are you getting it? Data science, analytics, whatever you want to call it as. Understanding the business problem, converting that business problem into data problem, applying the statistical equation, with the help of technology in order to make the decision is your data science. Is this making sense? Everyone, this whole definition of data science, what exactly is data science? This is data science. Business problem to data problem to equation with the help of the technology to drive the decision is your data science. Okay. Is the process and the definition clear? Yeah, this is what I was trying to explain it to you. We have a data which is stored, which is in the form of a tables. We take that data, we try to understand that data, do the modeling equation. Whenever you see the word model, model means equation, any equation it could be. And through that equation, with the help of the technology, if we are getting insights and driving action, that is nothing but our data science. Okay, now the process, like I said, can I say it will start with understanding the business problem? Second would be to know which data can help us solve the problem. One more important step. Do you think the data is in the right shape and format that you want it to be? Is it like very easily available in the format, the cleaning part of it? Is it like the best information available out there? No, not at all. Not at all. Have you all heard about this statement called as data is the new oil? Has anyone come across this statement on internet or somewhere? The data is the new oil. Have you heard this quote anywhere? No one. In business presentation, have you heard data is the new oil? They say that, the data is the new oil, but data is not a new oil. Data is a crude oil. Okay, crude means is it in the usable format? No. So in similar way, whenever we get the data, it's not in the usable format. So can I say we need to prepare the data? Yes, for sure. Because trust me, today, like even after 10 years in this particular industry or in this particular domain, still my 60% of my time will go into one thing, which is to clean the data, right? So even if you get the data and you want to apply an equation, you want to add an equation there, you cannot do it. You cannot do it unless and until you clean the data. Once you clean the data, you analyze it, you explore it, you find out the important information, and then you help the companies make decision. That is what the whole process kind of looks like. Okay, now this is how if you go to any organization, can I say there will be one team which is focusing only on the collection of the data, right? Like there will be one specialized team which is doing only one thing, which is what? Collecting the data. So whenever they collect the data, do you think it is in the usable format? Let's say you are going on Instagram and you're doing some actions. Do you think we get the data in the tabular format, well read, well clean, well structured at the point of inception? No, not at all. I wish Glory, whatever you're saying yes to is true in the real world. I would have been the happiest person out there, but unfortunately, no, it is not. So can I say there comes the data engineering team who brings the structure to the data ETL? Very good. Explore, that is to extract, transform, and load. The team needs to find out which data is useful, which data is not useful. They need to extract that data, transform that data, load the data. And once the data is in the usable format, can I say that's where the data science team comes into picture? That's where your models, that's where your problem solving, that's where you understand the problem and try to solve it. And when you're trying to solve it and you want some approval, see, for example, if you are in pricing team, the pricing data science team is different than the business owners. And if you were to drive some, say, if you were to build some model on pricing, you need to get the approval from the pricing team. And if you were to get the approvals from the pricing team and they're not from a technical background, they're not from a coding background, will they be able to understand your codes? You have built some model which identifies what is the best price of the product. You want to get an approval for that particular model. Will you be able to show the codes? No. So what is the best way to communicate data with the non-technical audience? If you have a large amount of information and you want to convey your point, what is the best way to convey this presentation In presentation, can I consider visualization? Do you think the charts and visualization can help us a lot in communicating our data insights? Right? Is it easier for anyone who does not have a data background to know from the charts and visualization, data visualization? Yeah, there are tools. Power BI and Tableau are the tools. But yeah, that is required. And once your model goes live, once let's say you are predicting the value in the same example, we are predicting the value. Can I say we need to constantly monitor and upgrade it? We need to constantly add more variables. Right now, we were only using temperature. Probably we'll also use gender. We'll probably use time of the day. We'll use age of the customer and see what is the exact sales gonna be, right? So can I say it is a continuously evolving process where the model is first created and it keeps on updating itself with the new information that it gets, right? And that's how we are able to use it for our decision-making process. Okay. Take this example. This I created for the company called as Nestle. Have you all heard about this company called as Nestle? They make Kit Kat as a chocolate, or um, they have a lot of FMCG products, fast-moving consumer good products. Anyone has heard about this company? Nestle, I'm talking about. Yeah, very large company. Now look at this FMCG company. We were trying to find out where analytics can help them. Can data help them understand which market they should be looking into? Can data, can numbers, the information, the large amount of data that they're getting, can it help them understand which product they should be focusing on? Because they have so many products available, they need to know which are the 10 products that we need to focus on. With the help of the data, can they figure out which geography, which segment they can be targeting? So can it help them in strategy and product decisions? If you're in a strategy and product department of Nestle, do you think you will be requiring data to drive any decisions there? Yes. Let's say you are in let's say you are in the planning and procurement space. Can I say you need to procure the raw materials way in advance, right? Or you need to have backup plans. For example, if something happens in country one, do you need to have a backup too? In that, knowing which is the best supplier, from where we should be getting all the raw materials from, can I say for that also we need to do a lot of data analysis? Can I say we need to first figure out how much sales is expected in 1, 2, or 3 months? And based on that, we need to figure out how much raw material will be required. And once we know how much raw material is required, can I say we need to build a sourcing strategy which is optimal in terms of the cost and also reliable? And in order to do all of this, can I say again, analytics or data helps a lot? Agree with me on this section? This one is what I was talking about, the planning and procurement part, correct? Does data help a lot in that segment as well? Take manufacturing and logistic and distribution. In every part of the manufacturing, how much labor is required? How much material is required? What is the route in which best way the material can reach the factories? In the supply chain, in the transportation, in the production, can I say everywhere data can help them better the process? If you look at the past data of 5, 6 years of their manufacturing, in fact, nowadays there is this, these companies are also looking at the data of their ACs. You wouldn't believe, if let's say there is a AC in a factory, they capture the data of that AC and they would exactly know when it requires a repair and maintenance. And does it help companies handle any downtime? Because they can predict when that AC would fail, and before it fails, they replace it. Can I say that can help them boost the productivity and continuity? Your airlines, for example, how does the airline knows when they have to put the aircraft for service? Can I say they use data for that? Your car, for example, your car mechanic, or if you're using any new age car, he would exactly know when you need to give it for servicing. And how does he know that? What is the main ingredient here? Can I consider again the data? Correct. Okay. Can the data and analytics, can data and numbers help company make decisions around profitability, where the profits are. Can it help them understand and make financial reports and do financial reporting and customer promotion optimization? How much offer we should give to which customer? When should we give the offer? When should we launch a particular marketing campaign? Can I say all of that will be required with the help of the data? Correct. Um, See, the point of this particular slide is just to tell you that absolutely there is no place where data is not currently used. I'm sure if you are working anywhere, every decision that you are making is also through our data. I'm pretty sure about it. In fact, when we go and buy our personal items, we do so much data analysis. For example, if you were to buy a phone, it's a high-end phone, you'll do a lot of data analysis. Maybe it's not a structured data analysis that you do in Excel or anywhere else, but you are doing some data analysis. You're comparing the ratings, you're comparing the prices, you're comparing the reviews, you're comparing the features. Isn't that data analysis? Right? So sales and marketing, I want to know which customer should be shown which offer, which product we should give off on, which trade we should be giving off on, which how do we optimize for e-commerce. All of that is driven by data, right? So because of the large amount of data that is getting generated, huge amount of data is getting processed real time, the companies are able to leverage this data to increase the increase their revenue, increase their growth, make their processes much more optimized, and for every single part of the business, data is used. Yeah, yeah. This is like we made it as a real slide. So from my one of the pitches that we are making, like where Nestle can use data, that's where we created this. And this is the places where we are able to find out where they were where we found out the opportunity for them to use data. Okay, and eventually we realized that it's probably everywhere in the company that they need to use data. Okay, consumer good companies uses demand forecasting, again data based. Nowadays the offers that you see is personalized. Again, it is data backed. If you purchased, say, let's say you're buying a phone, Amazon will recommend you buy also phone cover. That is nothing but cross sell and upsell. Um, if you're visiting a website for one time, you don't make a purchase. If you visit the website for the second time, you don't make a purchase. When you visit the third time, have you seen that sometimes you get some promotional discount, especially if you're purchasing from that place for the first time? Has anyone seen this happening around you? You visit the website for the first time, no offer. Second time, no offer. Third time, you get an offer. Does it have anyone observed it? No one? Yeah. How are they knowing that? Yeah, they're knowing it because they look at your visit data, and from that they try to predict in how many in how many visits you should be able to convert. So if they know that the third visit is most likely the one when you should be purchasing, they'll give you an extra incentive to make that particular purchase. Right? In banking nowadays, for example, if you were never transacting for a particular card and suddenly you make a very high value transaction, the bank calls you, the bank automated callers calls you and be like, hey, you know what, is that transaction correct or not? That is nothing but your fraud detection. So even in the banking industry, we are using a lot of data science to ensure that the customer accounts are safe. In telecom, for example, we want to know whether you will stay with the particular telecom provider or not. If you are seeing the signs that you're not using the internet service, you're not using the mobile services, you're not paying the bills on time, that means you are not interested, and we will try to make sure that you are upgraded to a better plan, or your prices are reduced so that you stick with the company for the longer period of time. So name the industry, name the domain, name the vertical, name any domain, every single place the data is being used. Okay, now how do you prepare for it? Like, what do you need to learn? I've given you the overview, I've given you the macro environment, I've given you the application at a company level. Now, what should you be doing to learn it? Right? You need to learn Excel. Excel is one of the most powerful tools that is there so that you can do some quick analysis. You need to learn SQL. SQL is a language which helps you extract the data from the database. The question comes Power BI and Tableau. There are like two data visualization tools. There's Power BI from Microsoft, there's Tableau from Salesforce. Both are one of the best tools available in the market. You learn one, you can easily learn the second one. In terms of the scripting language, Python has become very popular. So everyone expects a data analyst to do this technology part that we learn through this coding language called as Python. You need to learn about statistics because it's all about applying data to equation. That is where you need to be very good with statistics. You need to learn how do you create a model which are dynamic in nature. That means it keeps on updating with the new information. That is nothing but your machine learning. And of course, charts plays a very important role because if you were to communicate any data insights to any user, the chart is the best way to go it. So you need to learn all of this as well. And of course, apart from this, your analytical skill, which is the problem solving skill, programming skill, which is related to Python, your interest in maths, and the domain knowledge. The first part that I explained, that domain knowledge is very, very critical. If you learn all of this, you are in the best place to help the companies make decisions. If the companies are able to make $1 million of decision because of your skill set, of course, they'll pay you well and it has a better career alternatives in the future. Okay, so this is what I had to cover. Would love to take any of your questions if you had any doubts. Would love to take that up. Otherwise, I have with me. Yeah, we just had like 45 minutes, so I had to cover a lot in 45 minutes. So Shannon is here. Before we go to her, any questions anyone had? Okay. Did you get the takeaways like why data, why working on data skills is so critical in this century, in this era? That's the main takeaway. Like, have you understood like how every part of the decision making is driven by data? Yeah, you will get the PDF 100%. I'm sure I'll ask the team. They'll share the recording and the content to all of you. Okay, no worries about that. It just takes around 2 hours to distribute it. So just after the 2 hours, you'll get the recording as well as the presentation. Okay, thanks. So I have Shannon with me. Shannon, hello, if you can hear us.
Yes.
Great. So would you take up the screen share?
Yeah, sure.
How do you get into the list of presentation? It's the email that you registered for this particular class. On that email, you will be getting the presentation.
Right. Thank you, Saurabh. Do you want me to take over?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much, Saurabh. That was very insightful. That's true. There's a lot of data that gets generated every minute, right? Resulting to a lot of opportunities across the globe in the data world. How you can get into this particular program is through this program, which is Data Science and Business Analytics. It's a 7-month postgraduate program.
Shannon, sorry to interrupt you, but your voice is really low. If you are using a mic, just hold it a little closer because I guess others are also not hearing.
How about this one, sort of? Is it better?
100% amazing now.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you so much, Saurabh. So what I was telling is, yes, indeed, there's a lot of job opportunities that's coming up, and eventually, where you would start could be a question, a major question that you might have. The University of Texas Austin and Great Learning has a program for you, which is Data Science and Business Analytics with a 7-month duration all across. It's specially designed for working professionals, for someone who wants to climb the ladder at work, or for someone who wants to have a transition to a different industry, or in fact, set up a business of their own as well. The curriculum is very versatile enough. Uh, the time commitment that's required for you to start off with this program is at least 10 hours per week, 8 to 10 hours per week. Your live classes with the mentors are conducted during the weekend, either on a Saturday or on a Sunday for 2 hours. And during the weekdays, you can just go through the recorded content that's given to you by the faculty of the University of Texas for at least an hour or so that you don't miss out on the touch with the subject. The best part about the program is there are no written examinations all along. Instead, you would be having 7+ projects from different industries. That'll help you to get more of practical hands-on exposure to make you more marketable, more employable, more job ready, and more industry ready. The curriculum is designed in such a way that you start off from the basics. So you don't have to come with any prior programming knowledge or computer knowledge. The design of the curriculum is in such a way that you anyway start from the pre-work. That is the foundations that'll help you to start off with the program using high school mathematics, statistics, etc. Your module one starts with Python foundations, then you quickly jump into business statistics, ensemble techniques, model tuning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, followed by your self-paced modules. Also, you have something called as marketing and retail analytics, web and social media analytics, finance and risk analytics with prompt engineering and Gen AI, which will help you to automate the business as well. The certificate that you would be awarded is going to be a postgraduate program certificate in data science and business analytics from the university directly. The University of Texas Austin is ranked one among the top 10 across the globe in the field of analytics and one of the top 3 in the US. So, since it's from the university directly, the certificate would give you a global credibility. That means even if you're planning on having international job opportunities across the globe, in person or remotely, this is one certificate that pretty much helps you to start off. How you can proceed forward to applying for the program with Great Learning is we would be attaching the link for you to the application form in the chat box here. You can fill in the application form by attaching your LinkedIn profile or your resume. Once we receive your application form, one of the program advisors would try to reach out to you, understand your academic and your professional background, and how this program is going to turn 2-3 years down the lane for you. If there's an interview that's scheduled, you may have it with the admissions office. Once that's done, uh, an admission offer letter would be released for you along with the link which you can use to proceed forward, complete your admission fee, and take up the program. The University of Texas Austin and Great Learning have a world-class collaboration. What you would be getting from the university directly is the curriculum, the content is designed by them, the certificate of completion is from the University of Texas, and the case studies and the projects are approved all by the Texas McCombs University. And it's an academic partner. Now, what Great Learning does is a delivery partner for the University of Texas Austin. All along your journey with the university, if you need assistance, there's going to be someone called as a program manager who would be available for you for both academic and non-academic queries. The learning management system is given by Great Learning. You would be getting academic support and the mentored learning from Great Learning. The program comes with a fee structure of $3,500 US for the learners of Africa, and all across the globe, it's at $3,950 US. You can reach out back to us if you need any further clarification on anything else. If you have any other doubts or questions, I'm open to take. Here are the contact details for you to reach out back to us. Or if you would like to schedule a call, we would be leaving the link for you. Yes, Francisca, it indeed is an educative webinar today. Yes, Blanca, the program comes with a fee structure of 3,950 US dollars across the globe. Now, for the learners of Africa, looking at the exchange rates, we try to bridge it out. So we try to give it at 3,500 US dollars if you are from Africa and if you're currently residing in Africa. I hope I've answered your question. Yeah. Any other questions? All the best, Siddiqui. All right, team, I think we're done. Saurabh, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Shannon. Thank you so much.